So, today we are starting a new unit. It's called Treasure Island, X marks the spot. So, Treasure Island is, so before we read Treasure Island, what we need to do is we actually need to we need to go over what you know and what you don't know. Because you're going to hear a lot of stuff in this book that you might not know. So we're going to talk about some vocabulary, we're going to talk about some definitions, and different things like that, okay? So the first thing that we are going to talk about is that Treasure Island. So the first thing we're going to talk about is that Treasure Island is an adventure story. But not only is it an adventure story, it's a romance. Okay. So listen, it's not the kind of romance that you're thinking. It's not like a love story. Not that kind of romance. This type of romance is going to have, take your hood off. This type of romance is going to have like heroes, explorers. What is it? Okay, I need you to go sit down. Okay, this type of romance is not about like a love story. It's about, Caitlin, pay attention, please. It's about like heroes, villains. I don't think there's knights in here, but maybe, I don't know, explorers and like different goals that people might have, okay? So, when I say romance, it can refer to different types of characters. Yeah. Like faraway places, like fairy tale type stuff, but not necessarily a love story, okay? So chill out, it's fine. Okay, so Treasure Island was actually written by a man named Robert Louis Stevenson. Yes, my husband's name is Robert.
Did you write it?
He did not write this book, a different Robert. So, Robert Louis Stevenson was actually born in Edinburgh, Scotland. So, I'm going to our map right here. So, in this little pink area right here. Reddish, hold on.
Dark red. Here's red.
It's not really, kind of, but this right here is Scotland, okay? So, that is where Robert Louis Stevenson was actually born.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okay, so he was born in Scotland, and for a lot of his life, Robert Louis Stevenson was sick. So he was sick a lot in his life. So during his adult life, he spent a lot of time traveling to different places to see what areas would be best for him as far as like his health. Sometimes whenever you're sick or you have a certain type of illness, the climate, whether it's like a wet climate, like is not good for you, right? Or it may be better for you. It just depends. So he spent a lot of time traveling around trying to figure out what area would be best for him. So some of the places that he lived in England, he's lived in Scotland, the Samoan Islands in the South Pacific. He visited France, Germany, Switzerland, and the United States. So he went to all of these places, and through all of his traveling experience, that is kind of how he got the imagination and everything in the setting to write Treasure Island. So because he was able to travel around and see all these different places, I'm going to separate you two if I have to even look over here one more time. So because he got to travel to all these different places, it kind of started like his imagination like working and developing this story for Treasure Island in his head. So Treasure Island is set in Bristol, England. So right here in the smaller area, this like lighter shade, this is England. So this is the setting of the story that we are going to be reading. Yeah, I didn't know that either. It looks pretty small, right?
I thought
Okay, so while we read Treasure Island, it also talks about the Spanish Main, which are Spanish islands that were on the northern coast of South America. So that would be like right here.
Orange?
Kind of in this orange, yeah, in this area here. So we know that our setting is going to be two places. Around here in England and around here in the Spanish Main Islands, okay?
That's not much space. It's just tiny little.
It's not, but that's a pretty good like distance apart, right? That's a whole ocean apart.
Wait, how far is that?
I don't know.
I think
It's a whole ocean, that's for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
The whole entire ocean was like it goes.
Okay, so now that we know the two settings of our story, how might the settings of Treasure Island influence the plot of the story? So how might where these places are influence our story? Eli.
Like one of the places that one of the settings is like
Okay, Clara.
So Scotland is trying to invade what's it called? South
Scotland.
America?
That's where our author was born. Our
Oh.
settings, though, for the story were England and the Spanish Main Islands.
So England is trying to invade the Spanish islands.
Okay, so maybe you think it's some sort of like land dispute. Okay, Milo, what you got?
I feel like if they had to stop at many different places for food and
Oh, so you're going.
And there might be like so much weather.
So you're talking about like there's going to be a lot on the journey, right? Because that's a big distance. Okay. So maybe this story is about them traveling from one to the other.
Like they could be like facing
And trying to find the treasure.
Okay. Oh, and maybe treasure. So you're taking that inference from the title, right? Treasure Island. So maybe it's about treasure.
It's just they might like turn or something and go to another place.
Could be. Okay, so Treasure Island was written and published in 1883. So it was written and published in 1883. But even though the story was written in 1883, the Treasure Island, the story actually takes place in the 1700s. So he wrote it in 1883, but he wrote it like it was taking place 100 years before. So, hold on. I'm going to show you on the timeline, okay? So, he imagined that the story happened over 100 years before. So, he's writing the story in 1883, but he's writing it like it happened in the 1700s. What is it, Camden?
May I go to the bathroom?
Yes. Okay, so we're going to look at our timeline here, and we're going to we have some boxes, and I'm going to add a couple little things. So we said that the story was written in 1883, right?
Yes.
So which box would that be if we look at our timeline, Maylene? We have the 1800s right here. So would it be in this one or in this one? First one or the second one?
First one.
You sure?
No, the second one.
Because we need to be in the box that's a little bit closer to 1900, right? Because it was 1883. So we're going to put T.I. for Treasure Island, written. So it was written in 1883. But when did the story actually take place? When did I say, Clara?
The 1700s.
Okay, so what box would that be in?
The first one.
This one?
Wait.
Are you sure? Or this one?
That one.
Yeah, this one down. Okay. So I'm going to put TI setting because this is when the story was taking place, right? So this is when the story happened, the 1700s.
Oh, so that's when he did it, but.
So, nope, this is when he wrote it, but he wrote the story here, but he's writing it like if it happened during this time. It's just like if you wrote a story about when, like if you wrote a story about when you were 2 years old. You're writing a story about the past, right? It's basically what he's doing. He's writing the story now, but he's writing it about the past. He's putting it in a different, he's putting it in a different time frame. So, maybe I should have said that to beginning, so that in the beginning, so you would have gotten that a little earlier. Okay, so, our timeline. In the 1700s, England was one of the most powerful countries in the world. So in the 1700s, England was one of the most powerful countries in the world. We already knew that though, right?
Yes.
We already knew that because the unit that y'all went over the last week that we just finished, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. England and Great Britain and Britain is the same place. So they were the most powerful country at that time because this was during the 1700s. So looking at this timeline, does anybody see anything that we have talked about already or that y'all have learned about? Clara?
The Revolutionary Wars begins.
Okay, Revolutionary War. That was in the 1700s also, the late 1700s. What else do we see up here that we have gone over that y'all have learned? Anna? The French and Indian War, right? So these things are after Treasure Island. So we know that the colonies have not gotten their freedom yet, right? So that means England is still in power. Is there anything else that anyone sees that they recognize? Cameron, on the timeline at all? What you got, McKimmy?
The French and Indian Wars.
Yep, we said that. What else, Clara?
Jamestown settled?
Oh, the Jamestown settled?
I was going to ask what
We talked a little bit about that, right? Or y'all have talked about that? You've learned about that?
What's that?
Pilgrims land at Plymouth Rock or Christopher Columbus arrives in the New World. Those are things that y'all have kind of talked a little bit about in some of the units, right? That y'all have learned. And in third grade, yeah. So that's background knowledge. That's knowledge that you already have, right?
Christopher Columbus, we read about him for like years.
Yeah. Okay. So now we are going to talk about an even earlier time. So we have the 1400s. So you have the 1400s, 1500s, and the 1600s. So during that time, different rulers in Europe they were sending explorers to find land, right? Because we know Spain wanted land, we know England wanted land. So what were they doing? They were sending what? Ships and explorers out to claim land and what? What did you say, Milo?
Territory.
Well, yes, they wanted more territory, they wanted more land, but they always wanted more money or treasure, right? So they wanted land and they wanted money, right?
Because they would have a lot of power.
Yep, I guess they wanted land and they wanted riches. So they would send people to parts of the world like Christopher Columbus and different explorers to America. Let's look at our map. So they would send them from this area over here to America to see if they could claim some land, right? So we know that was happening. During that time, that was called the Age of European Exploration. You see how it's gold right here?
Yes.
So all during that time, they were exploring, right? They were sending out ships, they were sending out explorers so that they could claim more land and they could try to claim more riches.
Those hats and then some of those captain hats.
Okay, bandanas and such, yes.
Bad clothes.
Bad clothes. Okay, so I'm going to read you some of the descriptions that we have on pirates, okay? Because the reason that we don't really know what a pirate looks like is because there are not a lot of eyewitness accounts. There are not a lot of people that have actually seen pirates. We all just know what we see in like books or movies, right?
And most of
We
the
don't-
people are dead.
And yeah, maybe most of them are not alive anymore. So, some pirates may have worn eye patches, for example, to keep one eye prepared for darkness at all times. So, if they needed to duck below deck, they could switch the patch to another eye and see in the dark instantly.
I've heard about that before.
Pirates are often described in books and movies as having exotic or very unusual pets, such as monkeys or parrots. We don't know for sure whether pirates actually kept those pets, but if they did, girls, it's unlikely that they were actually pets. They were probably used them to sell, because generally pirates saw everything as a way to make money, right? They didn't really want a pet. They were just like, how can I make money from this? Yes, ma'am.
If you didn't say that they had pets as pirates after parrots, then I was gonna say, do not all pirates have parrots?
Right? Because that's a typical thing that people thought, right?
I thought they had lizards.
Maybe. Okay, something else. It says that images of pirates often include a hook or a peg leg. Piracy was a dangerous job, so injuries were frequent and could have included the loss of a limb. In those cases, a hook or a peg leg might have been used to replace the lost hand or leg on a wounded pirate. So, what we are going to do now is you are going to open your books to page 1.1. Yep, 1.1.
We get to draw a pirate.
So, I am going to put you in a small group. 3. Okay, you are going to be in groups of 3, Cameron. You're going to be in groups of 3, and you are going to draw what you think a pirate may have looked like during the 1700s. Okay, so you are going to draw what a pirate might have looked like in the 1700s based on the information that we've talked about, okay? So I'm going to split you up in groups of 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Who's sitting here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1. So all of my 1s, I want you to go sit right over here. Okay, all of my 1s are going to be over here. What you're going to do is, you're 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to talk about it with your group. And you are each going to draw a picture in your activity book, okay?
Bro, can it be a girl or a boy?
It can be a girl or a boy, your choice. 2. Group 2 is going to be back over there in the corner.
We're a group.
Group 2, if I said you are a 2, go over there.
I was just standing.
If you are a 3, you can come right here in the middle. All right, you have 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. No, I told you where you're going to sit. 6 minutes.
Can we just draw a pirate here? Okay.
So now that y'all have drawn your pirates, we are going to talk a little bit about, or a few of you are going to talk a little bit about why you included certain characteristics about your drawing. So, who wants to talk about their drawing first? Maddie, go ahead. Tell us what you put and why you included it.
I put it's like a boat, and I included it because they were fighting on ships with cannons and stuff. So I put boats and cannons. I didn't have enough time for the cannons, but
What about how you drew your pirate? What did you add to your pirate?
I added a hook and
Okay, Anna, what did you put on your pirate and why?
I made it have very little teeth because a lot of pirates do not know how to brush.
Okay, maybe because their hygiene wasn't that good. Okay, Milo, what is something you put on your pirate and why?
I made a star, probably because of he like scratched his eye in battle.
Okay, so it mentioned that a lot of pirates had wounds and stuff that didn't heal properly, right? All right, one more person. Cameron, what did you put on your... Okay, so... Oh. What happened?
It's to the back of you. I think it lasts.
Uh-oh.
Like a glitch.
It did glitch a little bit. All right, so we're just going to go off of your books, okay? So the starboard, I said, would be like if you were facing forward and it's the right side of your ship. And then your port side would be the left-hand side of your ship. So if you're facing forward, the left side is what side? Port. And the right side is the starboard side. So, something that's going to help you guys, we have a glossary in the back of our activity book, SR.2. You don't have to look at it right now, but all of the terms that we're talking about today, you'll be able to look up in the back, okay? So, the next thing that we are going to talk about is the different levels of the ship, okay? So, right below your picture... So our first level is the top level of the ship. That includes the mast and the sails. So if you are looking at your ship, this is your top level. This has the mast, which are the sticks that hold the sails, and then your sails are the actual like white. So that's your top level. So, your main level. What do you think your main level is going to be? If this is your top level, what's your main level, Cameron?
Like where the flags are, like the sails.
Like the we'll probably underneath the sails, right? So, right here is going to be our main level.
And then under.
Well, so your main level is where the open air area of the ship is, the floor, like the floor of the ship.
And then under it.
And then you're going to have your lower level, which your lower level includes, and we're going to look here at these pictures because we can't see the lower level right here, right? But we can see them in the pictures. So your lower level includes the hold, which the hold is right here. Cameron, open your book. The hold is the storage space within the hull. So that's the hold. And then you have your galley, which is a kitchen, a living quarters. So your galley's right here. Turn the page. Your living quarters is down here. This is where the crew would have slept in like hammocks or something. And then you also have the cabins, the captain's cabin, which was in the stern of the boat, which is what? The front or the back?
Back.
The back, right? The stern was the back of the boat. So, we got our lower level, and this is in the back of your reader. So, anytime you get confused or you're like, wait a minute, what's a galley? I don't remember what a galley is. You can turn to the back and you can look at these pictures and you can be like, oh yeah, it's their kitchen. Or we have our glossary back here in the back, so you can look at that. There's one in your reader and there is also one in your activity book. So, yep, I'll get it for you in a second, okay? So, does anyone have any additional questions or anything about ships or about pirates that we've talked about today? Milo, what you got?
Do some pirate ships have the parrot?
Possibly. I think that was one of those things that it said that if they didn't really have pets, but they might have had animals because they would have like sold them and stuff like that because pirates cared more about making money and stuff like that, right? Yes, ma'am.
I thought they just got pirates to like make them go to other ships to listen to the conversations.
Like use them as like spies?
Yeah.
No, because the British government didn't really like pirates. Remember, they made those laws and they were trying to get rid of pirates because the pirates were stealing all their goods. Oh, the parrots. I don't know, that's probably like one of those pirate movie things. Might not be like a real thing. Yes, Conrad.
Could you sell your like pirate like the people on the ship? You like sell it?
Could you who?
Or like sell your work.
Are you talking about like if you were a pirate and you went and attacked another ship? What would you do with those people? They killed them most of the time.
Oh dang.
They usually killed the sailors that were on the
Or
ships.
you could like sell them back to the people.
Like hold them for ransom kind of.
Yes, and then
Like I have your people. I don't know, there may have been some pirates that did that. I like the train of thought because of that probably did happen because they were worried about money, right?
Yeah.
All right, what else, McKimmie?
Did they want to eat their birds?
I have no idea.
Probably not.
Because they just wanted money. This was an easier way. Pirates thought that stealing and robbing ships was easier. It was an easier way to make money than going out and like working. I guess that was their job. All right, so I think that y'all are going to be ready to read your first chapter.
By ourselves?